welcome to Chicas Unplugged, and I am super excited to have the fabulous I'm going to say it in Spanish, Candy Calderón.
Exacto. Hi everyone.
Dominicans be like, because we're like fellow Dominicans, and that's how we roll.
Yes, yes.
It's just very interesting how Candy and I go back several years, actually, when I published my first book. It turns out that she either found me online or we found each other. And somebody who went to high school with my brother is one of your like diehard fans. So I saw the comment and I was like, oh my God, so we're definitely meant to be connected. And then when Jenny, if you've ever met Jenny at one of our events or have been in contact with Jenny, turns out that Candy and Jenny work together in the Dominican Republic. If that's not serendipity for you, and if that's not the power of connections, I don't know what else could be. So I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome, Candy.
Thank you. I am super, super excited to be here with you. And yeah, it's funny, right? Actually, it's been so long. I mean, it's been like 4 years since we met. And as you said, I don't even remember how I got to you, how you got to me. I just know it was through social media.
Yeah.
And then when I saw you,
and it was love at first Instagram, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't even know that you were Dominican, but the fact that you were Latina and such a go-getter, it's something that, and an entrepreneur like me, you know, in the digital space and wanting to empower women, for me was like, oh no, she's my type of girl, you know? And then I saw your book and I purchased it. And I remember then I tagged you in the picture. And then that's when your friends say like, oh my God, do you know her? And I know her and I love you and I love you. And
exactly. But that's, you know, and I love how, you know, we always at ETT Women always say, you know, the power of connections. It's, you never know who you know. Somebody is, you know, there's like that 6th degree of separation, but it's always great to be connected with amazing women. So I wanted to reach out and, you know, in this relaunch version of this, because I was hosting these videos about 3 or 4 years ago where I took 7 women a year and I interviewed them. Just because, as we all know, we need to see each other in their own spaces and give each other the opportunity to shine. And take notes from each other because we can all learn from each other.
Of course.
So a chica is a woman who is carrying, H stands for hermosa in Spanish, which means beautiful, inspiring, and who is living with a can-do attitude. So I think that you're a chica, my love.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Tell us a little bit about, you know, briefly how you started, why you got into the industry, because you're the health and glow goddess, right? That you are. Tell us how you got started in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm a certified holistic nutrition and health coach, and my passion is to help women to prevent and reverse illnesses, but going from the inside out. Like sometimes we as women, we focus so much on the way we look outside, the outer aspect of our, you know, physical aspect, and that's not the key. The key is to go inside and heal and prevent, which is something that it's so typical in the mostly with us women. Like we start thinking about health when we're already sick. Exactly. And sometimes it's too late. And more so in the Latina community. Yeah, unfortunately. And more so in the Latina community. So everything started with my mom's cancer. My family has a huge cancer history. My grandfather died of cancer. My great-grandfather died of cancer. But when my mom got diagnosed, that was like the key moment when I said like, no, something is going on. We were not having all these issues before, and what can I do? Because for me, the fact that she had cancer and that the idea that she might die was something that I could not deal with at the moment. And I started like reading and everything that I could learn on my own on how to help her like recover faster. Never negating the you know, regular medicine, because that's something that also I always like to point out, that even if you follow a holistic approach, like never stop doing the regular medicine, because there's a moment for everything, okay? There's a moment for regular medicine and a moment for holistic medicine. So I started reading and I said like, why people don't know this? It's like so simple to start preventing. And of course we're going to get sick because look, we're doing this, and we're doing this. And more so if I am genetically predisposed to this, the illness or the disease. And in my case, it was cancer in my family case, but you name it, diabetes, arthritis, overweight, blood pressure issues. There's so many illnesses that sometimes we are self-inflicting in ourselves. So I said, like, I need to bring this awareness to the people, and more so to the younger generations, so we can.
And I love that you mentioned how it's more so to the Latin community, just because in our culture, like I hear you speaking, and I remember that when I really got serious about my health, what also was when my mom had a mini heart attack, and I started to see her history, and I was like, oh my God, she's a diabetic, now she has heart disease. Hello, it's genetic. Eventually, it's end up catching up with me. So I better get, my health together as well. The challenging part I feel I know that you're not a mother still, you're yet. The challenging part for us, especially when we become mothers, is that we put everybody else first, and then we don't really, take care for ourselves. This is why I love, women who are avid advocates of self-care, because it's not just the physical health, well-being, but it's also the emotional well-being, and eating and healthy eating affects it all. So the fact that you're spreading this message and that you're bringing light to this, especially to us Latinas who think that we have it all figured out, but we don't. But we don't. Especially because I feel that we come from a very spoiled upbringing. We were. I was very spoiled growing up. Although we had financial difficulties. I did have somebody who made our meals. And it was easier to take care or to have a healthier lunch or dinner because you had somebody who was kind of like looking out for you. It's not the case living here in the States,
correct,
which is so much harder. So this is why you go to people like Candy to get menus and nutrition, health, and support and assistance, because that's just what you should do. So let me ask you this: for somebody who is having a challenging time with their health, not just physical but emotional well-being, and they're looking for a way to get started, what would you tell them to get them going?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the reasons why I decided to study holistic nutrition and not just regular nutrition is because I didn't want to approach health in a way that it just taking in consideration what you eat. What we eat, it's, I would say, the third thing that it's important for our health, because there are so many others that come first. And that's the thing that I say always whenever we're having a conversation. If there's something that you're going to get out of it, is that understand that the emotional aspects will affect even more than what you put in your mouth. Okay. So the first thing I would say is to start working on your emotional side. Okay. And when I say that, it has to do everything with what you eat as well, because what we eat, we have a relationship with food. Either it's bad, negative, toxic, or it is good, balanced, and nurturing. Okay. So always start thinking in your health in a holistic way. And the name says it, holistic, as a whole. Okay. Because the emotional part affects you. Physical aspects, of course, affects you, whether you exercise, whether you don't, if you're active, if you're sedentary in your life, and obviously the nutrition part. Okay. What are you eating? Are you balancing your meals and all that? But the first one I would say is the emotional aspects. How are you controlling your stress? Are you, are you giving yourself self-care? Do you have a toxic relationship at home or at work? You hate the work that you do and you hate go to work every day. How is that working for you? And one of the exercises that I give my clients and my coaches, the first exercise I give them, it's called the circle of life, which is basically all the aspects that will affect your life right now. And you are like pinpointing how do you feel from 1 to 10, and then you map it out and you see how you are in this big scheme of life. And then every 2 months or every 3 months, you go back and you do it again, because we evolve. and we're not stagnant. Like sometimes we're so good in one aspect, but then 3 months down the line, we might not be so good, and we might be better in some other that I was not so good 3 months ago.
Yeah. So when you just said that, it reminded me of a quote that I read not too long ago, where the guy was stating in his blog post, every aspect of your life affects every aspect of your life, and we tend to think that one thing is disconnected from the other when it's really not. So that's great advice, and thank you so much for sharing that. Now we're going to jump into the fun part of this interview, because as you know, this is how we roll with chicas, and I think this is just a great way to show people another aspect of your personality that, so that when they do get to meet you in person, they feel like they already know you, right?
Okay, perfect.
So you mentioned something about, being an entrepreneur. If you weren't an entrepreneur, what would you be doing right now?
Oh, wow. I've been, in stage of my life, I was not an entrepreneur. I think I'm a natural born entrepreneur, because I joke all the time. When I was 13, I was already selling cupcakes and Avon, because one day I asked my mom for money to go to the beauty salon, and if you're Dominican, you know how important that is.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, girl, like you only go once per month to the beauty salon. I'm 13, okay? And I felt like, no, I need money because I'm going on a date next day. So I need to look like, and she didn't give me the money. And since that day, I decided, okay, I'm going to make cupcakes. I'm going to sell it at school, and I'm going to start selling Avon. Okay. So I had this in me since early, in my early teenage years. But obviously in Latin American cultures, you are like brainwashed. Oh no, you need an 8 to 5, you need a regular career, this and that. So I already went through that. And I discovered that I really love the business side of working for somebody and learning. So I think I will be working, in marketing, business development, and all that, which was the area that I worked with for like 8 years. And I learned so much. And to this day, I implement much of what I learned back then now in my own business. So I think it was a good experience.
Well, good for you. That's awesome. When you're in your car by yourself, what do you think about?
I think about, let me tell you, I don't think about much, because driving gives me anxiety, and it's something that I know. Yeah. Okay. And I say that one of the main reasons why I want and I need to be rich is because I need somebody to drive for me, because I hate driving. And I need a driver.
Universe, Candy needs a driver. Okay.
Yeah. And yes, universe, please. So yeah, driving is definitely, and it's something so important that I also keep telling, each woman that I coach, is discover what are your anxiety triggers, right? For me, driving is not an enjoyable thing, but I have to do it. So what I do is I usually listen to podcasts while I'm driving, so I can, tune out and double down on my anxiety. I mean, how do you say? No, tune off my anxiety.
Tune it out.
Yeah, tune it out. But yeah, I really try to not think much when I'm driving.
Okay, so I actually listen to a lot of books myself. I listen to music, depending on the mood, music or books.
Yeah.
What's the last thing you watched on TV?
The last thing, I was catching up on The Walking Dead, girl, because yes, I was catching up on that because next week is the premiere, and I really I love my, fantasy, and it's weird, right?
You know what I love about The Walking Dead is how they treat each other, and I like seeing how people would, how humanity would unfold were we in that very dire situation. And I'm obsessed with human behavior. I love finding out why people do the things that they do. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm so fascinated with The Walking Dead, because it's so interesting to see how, one scenario takes people to a completely different one, and and that unravels into something completely unexpected. So I know I'm looking forward to the new season.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can hardly wait. And what I feel it's so exciting, and for me, and what drives me so much to see it. It's also like this survivalist instinct of people, and like it's crazy, like trying to put myself, what would I do if I would be in that situation? Because it's crazy, and it helps me to unplug from whenever, because my mind is always so much like work, my business, like when I see that type of that type of series, like I can tune out from
you can definitely tune out reality, because they have bigger issues. You got Negan to worry about. You're
oh my God, I'm so sick of him. I'm ready for him to die in the first episode.
I am too. I can't wait for him to be like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
And because we could go on for days. Believe me, my love for The Walking Dead is for real. For a woman who is getting ready to hit the ground running, start a business, decide to take this leap of faith of living her life to the fullest, what would be your one piece of advice?
My one piece of advice is to not do it without proper guidance, and give yourself the time to transition from, if you already have like a regular 9 to 5 and you are an employee, to transition gracefully in between stages, because sometimes we are so passionate and we are so driven and we act because of emotions, and we just jump into, my business, and I'm going to open my business, but then you don't really.
And 3 months later, you have like more money and you're screwed.
Strategically, you don't think about the steps that you need to take and to make your business, to at least give you the same peace of mind, maybe financially speaking, that you can support yourself before you make the jump. Okay. Yeah. So, and we put so much, how can I say this? We put so much pressure on our dreams, and sometimes what we end up being is burned out. Hating our dreams because we cannot pay our bills, we feel emotionally depleted and all that. So I remember when I was still an employee, I spent 2 years doing the transition up until I could have like a decent level of income that I could make the switch without hating my dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then it becomes work and then you don't want to do it, and then it's like,
and I had a mentor also that helped me in that transition. So also like have people who can mentor you and who can, guide you through this process, because we don't have everything figured out. Never.
That's great advice. Where can people find you?
My page, which is my name, it's candycalderon.com, www.candycalderon.com. There you can find all my social media, how to contact me and everything. And actually I have a gift for all of your listeners, and see this. It's just go to my page, and at the top of it, you will see, just leave me your name and your email, and I'll send you my ebook. It's called Fearlessly Healthy Kickstart Guide, and it will give you, it's like 30 pages full of tips, my favorite recipes, supplements that I love and why you should take them, morning rituals. I mean, it's the perfect ebook to get you started in this healthy journey if you are looking to feel better, glow from the inside out, and taking the first steps to, living life on your terms.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.